Good morning, Knicks fans. Tough loss last night, but a lot of positive things that we saw from the team. Now let's just get into the bad right off the bat. The bad being a 25-point lead that they gave up, mostly because of the third quarter came out completely flat. And we've had this experience with the Knicks before where they just don't come out in the third quarter. We don't know why. I've done videos about it before. I've looked at historically other teams, if that's a common trend, and you know what? It kind of is, but at the end of the day, championship level teams play for 48 minutes, period. They either play exceptional offense for 48 minutes or exceptional defense for 48 minutes. And we just didn't do that. And we haven't been doing that, so it's not a surprise that we gave up that lead. I would have loved to see a continuation of that first half, though, into the third quarter, into the fourth quarter. We just didn't get that. I think that first half, though, was a very good omen to what these Knicks are capable of. What Randall is capable of specifically, he just let the offense run, you know. He let RJ do what he wanted to do. He let Kemba do what he wanted to do. And what that means is basically the ball moved. The ball moved. It went to the hands of the person who was open. And shoot, even when we weren't making like 2 or 3 passes, Randall was setting up Fournier and setting up RJ with dribble handoff screens to get 3-pointers, and they were working phenomenally. They were really working well. So the fact that they were working so well and then we just didn't see them for the rest of the game was a little frustrating, to say the least. And equally so, we stopped seeing those dribble handoffs. We stopped seeing those extra passes. And instead we started seeing, Randall ISOing, Burks ISOing. Basically just a one-on-one type of engagement. And I think that's fine if our ball movement wasn't working, if we weren't hitting shots. But we were hitting the shots. So it's like, just kick the ball. Kick the ball. You can trust your teammates. That's obvious. So when you stop doing it, we stopped winning. We stopped playing well. And now normally the bench would come in and save us, but this was a complete opposite of what we're used to. Complete opposite of what we're used to. The Knicks starters played exceptionally well, got us a lead. Everything's going well. And then the bench comes, and it's like we don't even have a bench barely. I was really looking forward to watching Emmanuel quickly and how he compared to Westbrook, because I find their play styles similar but also a bit different. Similar in the sense that they're kind of shoot first, and different in the sense that IQ is a bit more of a finesse player. He has that floater. He has that really nice float pass to an alley-oop or whatnot. So I was really looking forward to seeing that, and we just didn't. He got less than 5 minutes, and honestly, I don't know if that was deserved or not. I think Thibs just really wanted this win, and it was evident in who he was playing. He was playing Burks, he was playing Walker, he was playing Grimes a lot, and a little bit of Toppin. And it just goes to show, when push comes to shove, when we have a big task ahead of us, a must-win game, let's say, he's not running IQ at the point. And I don't know if that's an internal thing. Maybe he wasn't feeling well before the game. Maybe whatever it was. Or if it was an external thing, like, hey, you really aren't playing that well. And if you look at his numbers, I mean, he has 1 assist, 1 field goal attempt that he missed, and that's pretty much it. And not to mention, if we put IQ up against Westbrook, he would have just been getting posted like every other play. So I see why, you put Burks out there, you put RJ out there, you put your big squad out there so that the Lakers' big squad just doesn't look as big. And this was actually a great game plan at the first half, because the Lakers were switching on everything, and we were making them pay because they were making lazy switches, and those little dribble handoff threes were wide open. And when they were over committing on those little 3-point screens, whether it be a dribble handoff or, a high pick and roll or whatever, when they overcommitted to that, expecting a 3, we were getting layups out of it. It was literally the best case scenario. We had one of the best halves I've seen from the Knicks in a long time. And the Knicks starters at that, which I think is even a more rare occurrence. I mean, we've had good halves, but mostly on the back of our bench players. So to see our starters playing well for once is just, it makes the loss a lot easier to deal with. It makes the loss a lot better for me, at least, to be able to say our starters actually showed up. And our starters being, for the future at least, RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson. And I know Mitch on defense and even on offense, he didn't do everything that we maybe wanted him to. But he's the only starter in a positive for the plus minus. Walker was close. He had a 0. So that being said, I think our whole team played well. Everybody who got minutes made the most of their minutes. I really think the breakdown happened in that third quarter. The third quarter was a travesty. We should have called a timeout after like the second possession when it was pretty clear that people weren't moving. And if you start the third quarter and people aren't moving, I would really just say sub in someone who has energy. And yeah, that's it for me. I mean, I think it was a good game. We did not expect to be there. And if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm extremely worried. And the reason I'm worried is because they're supposed to be a championship contender. We are a barely playoff evident team, all right? Like, we're barely going to a playoff if we even go. And I know Lakers fans are going to go, oh, we're injured. Oh, we don't have everybody. Oh, Russell Westbrook and AD and LeBron have barely played 10 games together. Okay, I don't care. When I go to a pickup game and there are 3 guys balling out and I join their team, I ball out too. I've never met them, never played with them. It's just good basketball. And I don't know why we can't expect that from a professional. Like, it's just basketball. You're just mixing up the guys and like what their preferences are. But if you're a good player, I mean, LeBron James is the player, so he knows what the preferences are on his team. And honestly, he's going to buy Malik Monk a big steak dinner because he almost lost him that game because he missed that terrible pull-up. But he also won him that game. He had 29 points, Malik Monk. And I know a lot of Knicks fans wanted to draft him. So shout out to those Knicks fans who wanted to draft Malik Monk because for at least one game, you weren't wrong. That being said, if I'm a Lakers fan, I would be very, 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 very worried. Talon Horton-Tucker, only 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. Trevor Ariza, 2 for 7 from 3, 3 for 9 from the field. Austin Reeves. I mean, and Austin Reeves has been an anomaly because this is like our undrafted random senior coming out of Oklahoma and stepping into possibly a championship run with the Lakers. Amazing for him, but not what I would want to hang my hat on. Yeah. Davis did well. LeBron James did well. We know that. But come on, the ABC broadcasters who said that Westbrook was going to have a triple-double in the first half, hold that, all right? Hold that. He didn't even get 10 anything. He didn't get double digits of anything the whole game. 5 points, 2 fouls, 4 turnovers. He got a block, a steal, 6 assists, 4 rebounds total. All right? The only thing he got double digits in is field goal attempts, where he was 1 for 10. All right? He had that amazing first half. He drove into the center. He lost his guy on a pick, I think. He lost his guy on a pick, got to the center. He basically had Mitch and whoever the help wing was. I think it might have been RJ, because I think Burks was guarding him. I think Burks was guarding Westbrook. He drove to the center. All he had was Mitch and RJ, but they were like 3 or 4 feet in front of him because they assumed he was going to drive, not pull up. And he assumed he was going to drive and not pull up because when he came to actually getting the ball, collecting the ball, he bobbled it, and we went on a fast break and got 2 points out of it. Like, I can't believe that. And not only did we get 2 points out of it, we had a 3-on-2 fast break. Obi Toppin missed like 3 lay-ins, and nobody else ran back. It was just Russell Westbrook versus, the fast break Knicks. And he was just getting dominated. I mean, he's not going to be able to jump over Obi Toppin to get the rebound. Come on. So the fact that nobody else ran back to help him is a little telling to the trust and the love in the team, because if you're not willing to run back for your point guard when he makes a mistake, that just goes to show you never expected to get the ball, right? You never expected to have good ball movement, to have an opportunity to score. You just assumed he was going to score, and when he turned it over, he can deal with it himself. So if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm worried, and thank God I'm not a Lakers fan, because I would not want to be in that crypt arena, and I'm calling it the crypt because that place was dead. The lights were all off, and that's only to guard the fact that half the seats were empty. They're not doing well over there. They needed that money to rename it. They needed that money brand, to rename it the crypt. That's it. Yeah, I'm not even gonna call it its real name. And I'm not saying Staples Center was iconic or anything. I honestly miss the Forum the most, but it's just a terrible name, and it's very fitting when you look at the stands and there's nobody in there, just a dead crowd, booing, whatever, man. I've been to Staples Center enough to know that I don't want to go back. So, listen, third quarter Knicks, all right? That's all I got to say. Third quarter Knicks are absolutely atrocious. I don't know what it is about the third quarter. I don't know if Thibs comes in and starts trying to change schemes, if the guys are just tired. I don't know. I have another video about third quarter performances, and I just don't want to get into that here. What I do want to get into, though, is the fact that we played well against a championship contender. It makes me second guess. Do I want to trade Randall? Do I want to trade Robinson? Do I want to trade anybody? I mean, I think we can all agree that Fournier and Kemba have been an interesting experiment. I think Fournier more often recently than Kemba has been showing up, but they're both really not the answers. So the 10th is still looming, 4 days away as of this video, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the trade deadline to come and go. I know the broadcasters were talking last night. The Lakers are probably not going to do a big move because they just can't. They don't have the cap space. And I agree with that, but they're going to have to do something because they are not going to beat. They're not going to beat the Bucks, let alone the Sixers, let alone the Golden State Warriors. Come on. The Suns even. They're just not at that level. They're 6th, 7th, 8th in the league at this point. Denver, Brooklyn, come on. So with that in mind, if I'm looking at just the Knicks, I mean, I love Schadenfreude. So even when they win, I love the Schadenfreude of the Lakers just not playing well and just not being who they think they're supposed to be. I love that. So let me get out of that hater-ass stance for a second, and let me think about the Knicks and what we can do on a relatively moderate grounding. And I am just going to leave that to Leon Rose. I don't know. I'm so burnt out of trade ideas. I'm so burnt out of the Berman trade articles where it's the Knicks could potentially trade the entire team. Yeah, we know we could potentially trade the entire team. So it's kind of annoying. I hate hearing that all the time. Potentially trade somebody. Okay, yeah, I know. We could potentially trade anybody. They could potentially sign me to a 10-day, all right? We're not doing it. So I'm holding my breath till the 10th. I think we can make a big move, make a small move. I'll be happy with whatever. But after last night, honestly, if Randall can play that way consistently, there's no reason to trade him. That dude is a baller, right? He came out ready to play. I don't know if it was because of the chip on his shoulder against Los Angeles. I don't know if it was just, I'm ready for this. I'm tired of being the scapegoat or what have you. But he came out looking good. Mr. Randall, 32 points, only to be showed up by RJ Barrett, 36 points. Like, when we talk about RJ Barrett being the face of the franchise in the next, 3-4 years, we look at games like this and we're like, oh, yeah. Like, he was driving on LeBron James and Anthony Davis and, making layups on them. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's top-level execution. That's why he played 49 minutes last night. So, hey, I would have liked a little more offense from Mitch. I would have liked a little more offense from Walker. I would have liked to see IQ a bit more. I would have liked to see just a deeper bench at all, So the whole bunch of do not plays doesn't really, whatever. But Thibs is trying to win the game. He wants to win the game, so he's playing Burks. He's playing Fournier. He's playing Kemba. And you got to be okay with that, because at the end of the day, we almost won that game. And my pops said, it's the free throws, but the free throws last night were not terrible. Evan Fournier, 66%. Barrett, 66%. Not great, 6 for 9. Fournier, 2 for 3. Randall, 8 for 10. Burks, 7 for 8. Nerlens Noel, 3 for 3. Toppin, 0 for 2. Okay, so as a team, we shot 72%, which is pretty good. You want to be around 80, but it's pretty good, 72%. And what did we end up losing the game by? 7. So, I don't know. My pops is still pointing to free throw percentage, and that's, for me, it wasn't free throws last night. For me, it was execution in the third period. If they came out playing in the third the way they played in the first half, it would have been a much simpler game, much easier game to win. So, what do we have to look forward to? What do we have to look forward to, my friends? Well, if we can play like we played last night again and again and again, we're playoff bound. Oh, we got a big test. We're going to Utah on Monday, all right? So rest up today, because tomorrow we got another game. Tuesday, we got the Nuggets. Thursday, we got the Warriors. Baby, that's a big road trip. Can we beat Jazz? Definitely. Can we beat Denver? Definitely. Can we beat Golden State? Definitely. But we need to play the best basketball possible. We saw last night we did it for 2 quarters, all right? I mean, shoot, you could even argue we did it for 3. But we didn't do it for 48 minutes, and that's the issue, right? So let's try to get these 48 minutes out. Let's play real hard. Let's support our guys. Clearly, they're playing better, so I don't want to hear no trade talks until Thursday, all right, baby? No trade talks until Thursday. Then we'll talk about it, all right? But I'm Big Nick Burt, Big Nick Energy. I like what I see, but it's still a loss, all right, baby? All right? So we'll run it back on Monday against the Jazz, and I think it's a win. So we'll see. Time will tell. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for stopping in. Catch you at the game next time, all right? Thank you.